We are streaming. It says we are live. And now we have a picture. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
All right. We have no friends yet this morning. I will assume everyone is feeling the Mondays. Because I know I am. It is the Mondayest of Mondays today. Oh, we have Kimiatsu says hello.
Hello.
And Bethany's here, and Monkey and Nikia. I don't know what to draw says hi.
Hello.
Prady Human says hello, Mr. Sava. Marguerite says hello from British Columbia, Canada.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Velocichungus is here, and SLC Cosplay Mom is here.
So, as you guys can see, I've been working on the background. Go a little bit more over here.
Percy says, hi, morning. Sprayed a stinky smell on my classroom, so class is delayed. Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, that's no good. Joanna says, morning from Washington.
Good morning.
Caroline Dalton says, yay, my favorite part of Monday is here.
Oh.
Frankie Roth says, good morning. Jenny says, good morning from Houston, Texas.
Good morning.
Chow says, I swear to God, you are the dad I never had. Lily Check says, good morning. Rasik says, what do you want to do with the background?
Well, hopefully you could see it. I will color it when it's all
We
done.
can't see the very top of what you're drawing. We're only getting the bottom of the lines. Thank you. That's better. It is a pub situation. He has put all of the guild characters in a tavern pub, same thing. And so that is what he is drawing right now. We have a Steph Nerd and an Emma. And they say morning. Emma says good afternoon. Book Lover says good morning, everyone. How are you all doing?
Oh, we're doing good, thank you.
We are hanging in there for a Monday.
Also a belated happy birthday to Emma.
Yeah, happy birthday to our Emma.
I am going to add a little line here for this beam.
And
then another line here.
See. Rhea says, hello, hello. Haven't been able to catch the last few streams. Glad to be here.
Glad you're here.
Julie says, good evening from Germany. Mako says, whoa, the tavern looks so good.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to keep it very light. Can you guys see the difference in the heaviness of these lines compared to the lightness of these lines? That's what I'm trying to do. Is I want the characters to stand forward, to pull forward. I'm also going to make the colors a little less saturated. They won't be as bright and colorful as the characters.
Stoic Philosophies is excited for the painting process.
Me too.
Maki says, holy moly, I missed quite a lot. Kermito's here.
Hey, Kermito.
Soroja says, good morning. What's the animal skull in the background? That's Glorious Pancakes.
Oh, there was I'm using like a 3D tavern reference, and they had an elephant skull in it. So I was like, well, let's make it like more of something that isn't real, Mm-hmm. So it's kind of half elephant, half rhinoceros, and I've got like other like little tusks or something on the chin. And
I appreciate that it is not an animal that is endangered.
No.
You said when you were painting, and I asked you why people asked for certain things, and you said because people like to see that. Well, I like to see that it's not a real animal being exploited. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see. How fun is it to draw wood?
It's actually pretty fun.
Zoya says good morning to all and to all a good night.
Good morning and good night.
Let's see. We're having book trauma. I feel ya. Let's see. The painting is so detailed.
Oh, thank you.
Mark's been sick. We hope you feel better. Lily Check says, yes, we can see that's got lightness and heaviness in the line weights. I love how your line weight pushes the characters forward, says Mads.
I tried to file down a 0.005 this pen to see if I can get it even thinner, but I couldn't. I just couldn't do it.
There is a piece of sandpaper on the side of his desk. Yeah. It's ridiculous. How do you get smaller than a 005? I have no idea, but whatever. He tried.
I did try.
Let's see. Neighbor says, good morning. This is looking so awesome. How was your weekend?
Thank you. It was good. I made 2 more videos and I worked on the background, so that was nice. I was hoping to have the background finished, but I wound up adding so much detail, and background's not really something that I feel comfortable with, so I'm not as confident when I'm doing my ink lines. So, yeah, it's going a little slower. I'm hoping I could get it done by Tuesday, maybe.
Like tomorrow?
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay. That's ambitious.
I mean, we're talking, this is probably maybe 5 hours worth of work, and I'm 2 hours into it. So, okay. I should at least get to the stairs by the end of this live.
Okay. What kind of paint are you going to use to paint this?
Watercolors. Though I might consider actually using some sort of the concentrated watercolors. We'll see.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say you were going to go towards some kind of gouache, and I'm like, you're going to lose all the line work. What's the matter with you? Lula says good morning and happy Monday.
Good morning, Lula.
Let's see. The guild is looking wonderful.
Thank you.
Ray. Velocichunga says there's a 003 from Copic. Really? A 003?
Really?
Really?
I might have to look into that and see if it's waterproof.
Good grief. Frago went to a new art store and found an expensive fountain pen and is saving up for it now.
Oh, that's great. You know
Very
what? I don't
good.
think I'm going to have a shield here in the hair. I think that'll distract.
I love how we can see the dimension in the objects in the background. I struggle with it a lot. Any tips?
Yeah, what I did was... can you zoom out, dear? Just so they can see.
Yes. A second. Okay.
Can they see most of it?
Yeah. Sure. We can get to about the barrel on the right-hand side.
Okay. So what I did was I kind of drew out what I wanted, and then I made this my center point, this little rivet on our autistic centaur's shoulder. And so what I did was I just took everything from there. And if you look at can you see the ground?
Mm-hmm. We can.
So you can see that the ground was my point, my vanishing point. So everything goes to that. See these lines? Mm-hmm. And then the same thing with the ceiling. So the ceiling and everything goes to that same vanishing point. And that's how I've been able to keep stuff at least to feel like my perspective is correct. But a lot of it isn't. A lot of my lines are wonky. A lot of my stuff is not perfect. But it's the background. So I'm not looking at perfection. I'm not struggling with that too much. Oh, you could zoom back in.
Okay. We're up at 65, right?
I don't know, whatever you think looks good. I think we were just all the way up.
Yeah. Okay. What are you going to draw now? What are you going to do so I can see where you are on the page if we have to move it? Yeah, that's fine. We can see it.
So I am...
Jordan says, this is your most detailed drawing yet.
I think it is, yeah.
Book Lover says, how do you draw the wooden texture so freely? Is it just practice or any special technique? Good question.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just going to add like a beam here. And since it is on the left side of this center point, we're going to see the inside of that.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to explain that again. What are you talking about?
So everything to this side of the center point, we're going to see... So you see my hand?
Yes.
So as I move more towards here, you see how you're seeing the inside of my hand?
Oh.
And as I move towards here, you're going to see this side of my hand.
Oh my God, that's so clever.
It's just called perspective.
Well, I don't know. I'm learning along with everybody else. That's really cool.
Yeah. So
thanks for showing that.
I'm going to...
I know sometimes you guys maybe think I ask too many questions and I'm sitting here with him, but that was pretty cool. I mean, come on. Tell me that wasn't cool. Huh. Intriguing. How do you draw a background but still draw more focus on the characters?
The line weight.
Yeah.
You see how the lines are heavier for the characters and thinner for the background.
Yeah.
Oh, so what was the other question?
The other question?
There was a question.
You did it already.
No. You said that's a really good question.
That was the one I asked you. How do you draw the wooden texture so freely? Is it just practice or technique?
I didn't get to answer that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, do you remember me answering it?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. So the wooden texture is, let me find a Post-it.
I got Post-its. You need one?
I got one. Okay. So the wooden texture is pretty fun because it is, I just do a line like that, and then I do another line, and I give little variations, and then when I do a variation, I follow that variation, and then I go, okay, well, what if there's like a knot here, and I go around that. So it's kind of like water flowing. Like that. So the lines don't cross. They go around stuff. So, again, you have a piece of wood here. You can add like a little knot or a little whatever, and then everything kind of goes around that. And then you can just kind of fill in the rest of it. But that's wood. At least that's how I draw wood.
I think that's pretty cool. You guys have had some good questions already this morning. We talked about that this is going to be watercolor. Let's see. Have you thought about an adventure that all of the guild is experiencing?
No. I think maybe we might consider that something that we all talk about later on. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm just focusing on what I can do with the characters.
Glorious Pancake says, the contrast between the characters and the lighter lined but more detailed background make me think of the comics Cerebus and Bone.
Oh, well, that is very flattering.
Xantha Art says, hi, Scott. I love how the tavern is looking so far. I recently started working on a picture book, so that's fun.
Oh, great.
Sakura Pigma makes a 003. You guys are killing me. Like it needs to be any smaller. Gail says, good morning. And how are we today?
Good morning.
We are all right.
So I'm just doing another window.
Let's see. That's cool, Scott, the perspective thingy. I did not know that until now. See, Lily didn't know it either. Telling you. Donna is how I wish people would react whenever I show them my art. I'm always the reactive one of the family. Can you tell?
Okay, I'm going to add a little shield over here, back here.
Is the inked page for coloring free for digital download?
Of course.
It's just not done yet. So when it is done, he'll scan it in.
As soon as I'm done, I will scan it in and you guys can have it to play around with.
I don't believe most of the characters have names yet.
No, none of them do.
Let's see. Let me put it this way. I wish my pet was going crazy while we were on here. I miss my pet. Midnight says, I have a 003 pen. They break constantly. That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're that, I mean, you can't even see the, I don't know. Anyway. Scott does not like glitter. He will not be using glitter in any of his artwork. It is 9:16 a.m. here.
It is.
We are in the Central Time Zone in the United States. People love the mice. They say they're so cute.
They are very cute.
Let's see.
Okay.
Seeing how your art has changed over the years has made me more comfortable to experiment. I realized I really don't have to keep the graph on the same level all the time.
No. It's so much more interesting to try new stuff and to just experiment. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing, is I'm just figuring stuff out. And I think once you let go of that perfectionism, mm-hmm. everything becomes a whole lot easier.
Let's see. I've been in art school for a year now, and Scott taught me more than my art school. Oh, jeez.
Well, funny. you know what? I've been out of art school for 34 years, mm-hmm. and I've learned so much more outside of art school than I did in art school. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were some great lessons that I still use to this day, but everything you're seeing is stuff I'm just figuring out on my own.
I think it laid the foundation for you, but you're one of these people who has to sort of learn by doing.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, I look at art school kind of like elementary school. You know, it's like, I learned some good lessons, but all of the stuff I'm really using on a daily basis is stuff that I've had to teach myself.
Mm-hmm. That's not to say that there are not good art schools or art teachers out there.
I think the art school I went to was a great art school. Mm-hmm. It was just not everybody learns the same way. Mm-hmm. And also there's just no comparison between school and experience.
Yeah. Is the weather nice in America? Well,
it depends on where in America. America is as big as Europe. So it's like saying, is the weather nice in Europe? Well, it's different it is in Scotland than it is in Spain.
Yeah. 100%.
And so, we have nice weather in California from what I'm hearing, and not as nice in Buffalo, New York.
Mm-mm. Let's put it this way. 2 days ago here, it was 80 degrees and gorgeous.
And today is in the 30s or 40s?
Today's high is going to be in the 40s, which is just stupid. Can we?
And that's Fahrenheit, by the way.
Yeah. Can we just please have some warm weather? How does Scott draw snakes? And also, what is his favorite reptile?
I always will draw snakes from photo reference. I tend not to draw snakes out of my head unless I'm doing like Medusa hair or something like that. And but my favorite reptile, I don't know.
Mine's a turtle. I like turtles.
Betty White, the rhinoceros horn iguana. was a very nice reptile.
Rhinoceros iguana.
Oh, sorry.
You're thinking of the rhinoceros hornbill that we met, and that was Stanley.
Stanley,
You're getting all the animals confused. Let's see. How do you draw expressions so well? My characters have the most artificial smile no matter what I try.
Try copying a photo reference. Find expressions that you really like and then copy them. I very rarely will do expressions out of my head. I very rarely do much. All of these were using photo reference, and I changed them, but I still use the photo reference.
The Nightmare sent you a very nice tip and
Thank
says,
you.
I like drawing. What are your tips for beginners?
Draw everything every day. Don't draw out of your head. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm saying if you want to learn, try drawing the world around you. Try drawing mundane things. There's a Draw Everything Every Day series if you want to look at that.
Tracy Auerbach says, good morning, all. I ended up painting the messed up mini portrait of my family, and it looks so much better. Thanks for the encouragement.
Oh, that's wonderful. I bet they're going to love it.
Sarah wants to know if you ever painted your art with another color besides watercolor.
Yeah. Gouache, colored pencils, markers.
Acrylics. Acrylic wash.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Colored pencils. Do you find that your style changes slightly or you become more confident as you work along a large piece like this? So you notice a difference between the beginning and end sides of the page?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a little bit of both that you get better at something or more confident, but also a little bit of impatience. Sometimes I rush through the last characters because, it's like, I just want this done. But for the most part, I think you can only improve.
We have a long list of countries we want to visit because we've only been to just a small handful of places. Crazy KZ wants to know what pens you should buy for inking.
Well, there's no should, but what I personally like is the Zebra brush pen. And there's a link in my on my website.
Let's see. Do you remember what was your hardest assignment during art school?
It would have been I had to do what do you call it? Like a book report, like a report on art history, and I had to come up with something, and I came up with the perfect anatomy, and I was like, people like Boris Vallejo and Frank Frazetta draw people with perfect anatomy, and people like Rubens and this and that, and don't, and their characters are fat and this and that, and whereas Frank Frazetta and Boris Vallejo, their characters have the perfect anatomy. They're muscles and they're this and they're that. And needless to say, I got an F on it. So,
honey, there's not a lot you didn't get an F on at least
I know.
once. Imagine every character has been given a name from a different culture. Like, could that be possible?
Absolutely.
Oh boy. Let's see. Is the community going to name them? Because we will have a field day.
Yes, I would like that.
Oh boy. Don't include me in that.
Why would I ask you?
Barely know. I will never remember the races. I'm sure as heck not going to remember the names of any of them. Since you used to do realism for so long, do you have any tips? I personally love realism and want to get better at it.
Yeah, find a photo that you like, trace it, and then copy it exactly as you see it. Realism is so simple. It really is. You know, you look at the photo and you go, okay, this is darker, so you use darker colors. This is lighter, so you use lighter colors. It's the simplest thing you can do.
You guys ask these broad sweeping questions. What is the best art hack of all time?
Draw everything every day.
Let's see. Do you remember what your hardest assignment during art school was?
I answered that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, remember I got an F?
You had so many projects that were so hard that I remember you brooding over that anything that you could have written or talked about was so low on the list. I mean, yeah, it's funny. I remember all of those. So I guess it's snowing in Minnesota.
Wow. Welcome to spring.
I hate spring. I'm going to have to start taking allergy meds again. Roasty Toast has pretty bad art block for over a month now. Do you know of anything that could help?
Yeah, there's a video on that, but go to a museum if you can, a gallery. What I do is I will just fill up a sketchbook of my favorite movie characters, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or something like that, until an idea comes along. But you can also just look at other people's art and see if anything inspires you. And if that doesn't work, try a new medium.
Santa's here and says best wishes, everyone.
Hey, Santa.
What is your favorite thing to draw?
Hair.
Where do you find your photo reference?
All over, but there is a link to the photo reference that I am using here, and that is on my site under resources.
Did you ever hear back from the people that originally created the mice?
I did not. So and I don't know if I ever will. And then I just need to look at it and go, did I change them enough or not? And should I go and change them some more? Or should I reach out to them a little more? So I don't know. Like I said, this is one of those sketchy things.
Gray areas.
Yeah, I like I said, I should have reached out to them. I mean, I only just found it like hours before I went live and decided to do it. So it was just one of those things that, I was like, I love it and I want to use it, and I could figure it out later. I could change it more later if I need to, but it's really not something I would recommend people do. But
Book Lover says, so I want to start a big drawing soon. Which corner of the paper / spot on the paper should I start with? And then says, gosh, I have so many questions today. We like your questions. It's totally fine. I like your questions because they're more specific. If you just ask for tips, we can't, guys, we need a little more than that. But so.
I would say if you are left-handed, start in the top right, work to the bottom left. If you are right-handed, start in the top left, work to the bottom right.
And if you don't want to get your hand oils on the paper, what are you using right now to cover up your piece?
Tracing paper.
Tracing paper. You could also use a regular piece of paper, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Or wax paper from the kitchen?
I don't know if wax paper might...
Parchment from the kitchen?
I don't know how it would feel, but, it's you just don't want anything that's going to pick up any kind of oils.
Yeah.
Or smudge your pencils at all.
Okay, here's a funny question about questions. Have you guys always answered questions on lives? It's a question about questions. I don't know why I think that's funny, but I think
Paradox.
It's funny.
Yes. Before Donna came on and started answering, reading the questions, I would do my best to look over and read the questions as you see people do in lives.
Yeah. It was easier when you had, like 10, 12 people.
Yeah.
You know, but as the lives got a little bigger, there's no way he can follow the chat. And we don't want to miss a lot of the questions. So, surprise! Here I am. Let's see. Crazy Casey says, "Hey Scott, have you tried just using one Crayola marker, like no pencil, ink, nothing? It's pretty fun."
I'm sure that would be. It would drive me crazy, but yeah.
You guys are funny. You always want to put him in a box. It cracks me up. Use one pencil. Try oil pastels again.
Now do it blindfolded with one arm behind your back.
Exactly. Do it left-handed, even though you're right-handed. You people are funny. Gail asks, "Have you seen Sam Does Art's new video? He took your advice, Scott, and has started sketching everything he sees for practice."
I saw that. He's doing traditional art.
Yep.
And
yep.
I didn't see any where he was drawing what he sees. I saw him just using like a micron pen. I sent him an email saying I'm happy to send him some zebra brush pens to try out. Mm-hmm. I think he'd really like them, but I haven't heard back. Sam's not the best at responding to emails, though. That's why we haven't done a collaboration.
He's really busy.
He's 25, I think.
What does that have to do with anything?
He's only a few years older than the boys.
What does that have to do with it? Oh, I get it. Yeah, okay. You youngins. Hitomi says, "Scott, what is your favorite animal to draw?" And don't say a red panda, Donna. I don't know what you mean.
I think I always like drawing a Bengal tiger. I like the stripes.
Is it just me, or does everyone in the guild look like they're posing for a photo that'll last for generations to come?
Yeah.
Just like the photo from Reacher, where they had that, they took that picture and it that was a good one. Did one of the mice have goggles? If it didn't, you should give it one.
Yeah, one of them, they're pretty much, other than I changed the hats and the coats a little bit, they're pretty similar to what, and I gave this mice cheese on on their shield.
A thick tipped fountain pen around the $50 to $60 range. The TWSBI Echo does not have the 1.1 millimeter tip, but it has a bold tip, and that's a pretty chunky, thick one. You're going to go up in price a little bit more to have that 1 millimeter stub nib that writes really, really well. But try the TWSBI Echo. That one's a good one. What are replacements for tracing paper?
Lightboard? Or unless you're just talking about to protect, you can just use any.
Are you wanting to trace, or are you wanting
to just keep your hand off the paper?
Yeah.
In which case, just any paper.
Yeah, use another piece of paper.
So you can see I'm just doing rocks, like a little rock
Stones.
wall. I think the combination or the contrast between the wood and the rock will be nice. There'll be light coming through the windows, which I think will be nice. There'll be fire in the fireplace over here. Mm-hmm. And then I got these stairs kind of going up. But I had a really hard time when the stairs go past the ceiling, where to cut that off. So I just kind of put a beam right there to kind of just hide that transition from That's stairs.
That's a smart way to do it, though.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, I this is a little mindless and not my favorite thing to do, but like I said, it'll probably take me another 15 minutes to get through all of this and then do this beam, and then we will still have. So we've really only just started, so we're only not. Yeah, so I think we can get over to the stairs, like I said, by the end of this.
Oh, this isn't we. This is you.
Yeah. By the end of the live. And then, I added a little fairy because people were saying to add a fairy, and I always love fairies. So I'm going to have to come up with something like leave a little space for this fairy right here. A couple of people have suggested a service animal So I haven't really thought of anything yet, and I might do that maybe on the bottom right. But I haven't thought of what that service animal might be.
Have you ever taken part in an art competition?
Well, when you say taken part in, I've submitted but wasn't accepted.
Mm-hmm. Have you considered testing the Ohuhu waterproof fine liner set in a future video?
Yeah, I would love to try them. I didn't know they had them, and that could be a lot of fun.
I'm going to write that down.
We should maybe reach out to them and see.
Yeah, I'll write that down. Yes, D&D stands for Dungeons and Dragons. I struggle a lot with perspective as I struggle drawing straight lines even with rulers. I'd love some tips.
I know that there are times where you need to have a straight line. And is there a reason why you're struggling with a ruler? Because maybe it's possible that your rulers aren't these. These have cork on the bottom. And the cork keeps them from moving. And maybe what's happening is that, see, if I turn it this way, see how it moves? But if I turn it this way, it's not moving. So I think maybe you need to just invest into one of these rulers that have cork on the bottom. And that'll keep your rulers from sliding.
You probably answered that a lot before, but do you ever do artsy things together?
Yeah, Donna will journal, and I will journal. Mm-hmm. Hers are more words and photos, and mine are more words and art. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll go places and journal together.
Lula says, the days before Donna were much quieter, but not in a bad way. Everything before Donna was much quieter. How do I get a comic-like style in my art while still having my own style? Hope that made sense.
Yeah, of course it does. You take the parts of comics or a particular comic artist that you like, and you steal that. You don't steal the whole style. You just steal, I like the outlines, or I like the way that they do their poses, or I like this, and you take that and then you add that to your style. That's how you get your own style, is by taking little bits of other artists' work and applying that.
Let's see. Y'all make me feel validated. Warms my heart to be able to ask questions without being judged.
Oh, of course.
God, please. Why would we? You guys are funny. Anyway, we're glad we're here.
We're glad you're here.
I don't know why anybody would judge you for asking questions. I think that's the best way to learn. White Wolf says, hi, Scott. I'm working on my own painting with 7 characters. I love the autistic character because I have hyperacusis, which is sensitivity to loud noises.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not wonderful, but you know what I'm saying. It's wonderful that I can relate to that.
He can indeed. Hi, Scott. How was your morning? I was wondering, what is your favorite thing to draw with? I'm guessing ink, but I do not want to assume.
I really like drawing with a colored pencil. I like to doodle with them. But really, it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I like to doodle with a ballpoint pen.
I think it depends on where we are and what you're limited to.
Yeah.
You know, if we're out somewhere and you get bored and you can pull out your wallet and you have that small sketch wallet and a ballpoint pen, or, you know, like it depends.
Yeah.
If you have so many questions, then go ahead and put them in the chat. We are happy to answer them. Whoa, cork on the bottom of a ruler. I think you just blew this person's mind. You guys are so funny. Mika says, I think that's the reason, though they are not available here, and I prefer transparent rulers. Hope I'm not being picky or annoying.
No, but a transparent ruler, which is most likely plastic, is going to slide. And you might prefer it but then don't complain about not being able to get a straight line because it's moving. Mm-hmm. The whole point of a ruler is that if you're going to use it to make a straight line is it can't move. So it's you're either going to have to push down really hard, or the other thing you could try doing is taping your ruler down if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just use tape that's easy to remove.
But that's how you get a straight line, is by using a ruler.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Do you like the show Disenchantment?
I've never seen it.
I haven't even heard of that. Do you have a favorite character right now in this specific drawing?
There's a few. I like the autistic centaur because centaurs are my favorite and I'm autistic. But I also really like, can you guys see the right side of it yet?
Not all the way to the end, but yes, we can see it. Do you want me to pan out?
Let me just see.
We can see. See what I mean? We can see up until the eagle's head, but we're okay.
Pan out.
You want me to pan out?
Yeah, if you could.
Hold on a second. Let me... Okay.
I also love the Aarakocra, this character, because I love how the wings came out. So those I like them. I mean, I like them all, but I think those two are my favorite for different reasons. Mm-hmm. I like the non-binary tiefling, and yeah, but I'm actually really happy with most of them. There's some of them that I think I could have done that better or whatnot, but for the most part, I'm really happy. Okay, you could zoom back in.
Okay, zoom back in.
More.
You're going to need to pull that down just a little bit. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Let's see. Rachel's got a new sketchbook. That's exciting.
That is very exciting.
What is the secret to symmetrical eyes except guidelines and practice? Yeah, nobody has symmetrical eyes.
Yeah, but guidelines and practice, why would... If you use those two things, you're going to get your eyes symmetrical.
Because our lovely people always want a shortcut. Practice, 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 practice. You're like my boys. I want to be good right now. I want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
So funny. I've been wanting to paint my kitty, but she has stripes and I just can't get them right. They always seem to look more like stickers than fur. How do I get them to look right?
Well, if you saw with the Tabaxi character, there is the finer hairs, right? And then you could add stripes, like darker hairs. You see that? That's all it is. Is you're gonna have you kind of have to do the regular hairs and then the darker hairs.
Hi, Scott. Do you always use reference to make, in this case, all the characters? They are all posing differently.
Yes. Yeah. I talk about that in the last video. If you've had a chance to see it, you'll hear me talking about just how some of the characters, when I break away, like this character, was almost identical to the photo reference. This character and this character weren't, and I feel more confident with these characters than I did with these other two. But you know, a lot of these characters, there's a lot that I had to do out of my head, whether it was change the hands or the face or whatever it might be. And that's okay. I could just tell the difference in my confidence of my line between the two.
Among your arts, which one do you love the most?
Among my arts? Really, it just depends on the day. I think is some days I'm like I really like the trans piece. Other days I like my Animal Crackers movie poster. It really just depends. Right now it's this one.
Frocko says printer paper over an iPad or a phone or a light box works great as tracing paper. Then you can use the transfer method to get it onto nice paper.
Yeah.
How many colors do you normally use for watercolor?
There's about 12 that I will use. And there's a list of them on my website under resources, under my art supplies.
How do you copy from tracing paper to your sheet on which you are drawing without transfer paper? Didn't you project all these on here?
Yeah, I mean, but I didn't project from a tracing. I projected and then I traced directly on it. But yeah, there are tracing apps. There are projectors you can get. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me erase all of this.
Yeah, the mods are great. We could never get through it because if Scott talks sometimes and then the chat will jump, so they try to answer all of the questions that they can. They're really awesome. They couldn't do it without them. Could not do this without them. Gail says, I like the placement of the Aarakocra. Their wings naturally frame the group.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. I love drawing wings. I mean, I love the concept of drawing wings. I don't always feel like I do them justice, but yeah.
Have you ever heard or tried wash painting?
Someone had suggested it. I have never looked it up yet.
Darsh would like to know if you're married.
Yes, that's my wife reading the comments.
Hello.
We've been married for 31 years.
We have. How did you develop your style?
There's a video called, or a short called My Art is a Mosaic. Mm-hmm. And that pretty much sums it up. But essentially, my style came from copying the styles of artists that I grew up liking.
Brazen Hearted has joined and asked how you are today.
I am doing good, thank you.
My math teacher looks at me like an idiot when I ask questions. Well, your math teacher's an idiot because you're supposed to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I said so. Good grief. How are you supposed to learn if you don't ask questions? That makes no sense. People exhaust me. Do you have any tips for working with gouache? And I'm going to go back White Wolf and I'm going to say, do you have a specific question about gouache that you would like to ask?
You can work mid-tones to darks and then highlights. There is a video on gouache, a short, but I don't know how informative it is. I need to do a longer one.
Fan Art asks, do you know which characters will be queer yet? I am bi and would love to see representation in your drawings. By the way, I love your tiger character.
Oh, thank you. There is a trans mask and there's a non-binary, but to be perfectly honest, I am not going to get into characters' sexualities only because there would be no way for me to represent that in a non-overt or pandering sort of way. I think that is something that I will leave open to interpretation among the viewers to do. But I don't want to. There are some things, like someone asked me if I could make a Jewish character, and I'm like, I'm staying away from religions. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm everything I'm trying to do something that is visibly, outwardly that you can do, other than the trans mask, which someone had asked, and I said we can say that this character is trans mask if you would like that. So I think if when we come up with every character's stories, we want to say this character is bi, this one is gay, this one's a lesbian, etc., etc. I'm totally okay with that, but I don't want to try to visually represent some of the stuff because it would look like I'm pandering, and I want them to be
open for everyone for their interpretation of it.
Yeah. I hope that makes sense. I
art is
when I did the hair journal, I specifically said, okay, this page is lesbians, this page is gay, this page is bisexual, and we used the flag colors and we did things like that. But in a situation like this, I don't think that these characters would have that be their identity in like, I'm going to wear the transsexual flag colors on me, kind of thing. So I think that's what I'm trying to make it not seem something like that is their entire identity. But we can. I hope I'm explaining that correctly, and if I'm not, please let me know.
Let's see. There is so much going on, and it's so simple at the same time. Scott, how do you get that feeling of detail and overwhelmingness, but also have it be so simple and calming?
Thanks. I was really struggling because the background I did initially with no. When I did this part right here, I did this initially with no detail, just an outline, and it just felt really shallow, which is why I tried filing down to see if I can get it even thinner so I can get the wood grain and stuff. And then I just realized I'm just going to have to add it and do it. So I feel like in a lot of ways it is too detailed, but I'm very happy with how the darker, heavier lines are standing out against the background. So it's really an experiment. So I guess my point is that I didn't know if it was going to work, and I'm very happy that it currently is working.
Okay, let's see. Oh gosh. Okay, let me blow through some of these really quick because you guys have a lot of questions today, and Scott's been answering a little bit longer. So let's just. There's no quick way to be an artist. You have to practice. You have to take your time, and you have to learn. That's how you have to do it. Period. I have watched him for 40 years. Almost 40 years. Let's see. What visually makes the centaur autistic?
We gave her ear defenders. They're like magical ear defenders, so she can drown out noises so she's not overstimulated.
He's using a micron, a 005 micron, and for the thicker lines, he used a zebra brush pen.
Yes. So you can see the difference between... I hope you can. This pen tip and this pen tip.
Good Lord. I'm not looking. La, 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 la. I can't take that 005.
Well, here's this, and here's...
Oh, just kill me now. It is not hypocritical that Scott says mistakes are okay, and he still has a corner of shame. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Everybody's going to be critical of their art.
I am very open about my insecurities
and
how I feel about my art. And a lot of the stuff that I say about there are no mistakes and whatnot is me trying to convince myself of the same thing too. So please understand, I am struggling with the same things you are, and I'm just trying to...
You're trying to
help.
come to terms with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Scott does have a website, And there is a Discord. All of those are listed on the website. Maybe the mods can put that in. Let's see. There are no... He's not going to put Easter eggs in these paintings.
There's enough in the paintings.
So much going on already, you guys. Come on.
All right, so one thing that I did notice that I needed to do was that the... Can you guys see the floorboards?
Yes, you can see the
So the floorboards currently, as it stands, are one single long board, and they're just not... Boards are going to be cut into sections. So I need to add horizontal lines. My thing is, I don't know if the lines should be... Yeah, I guess they should be parallel throughout, right? That makes sense. So can you see this over here?
No, we can't see all the way to the side. There you go. Now we can see all the way to the side. I don't know about that, but you do you, Chief. We are not making more merchandise right this second. No, I do not paint. I do journal, though. Yes, this will be a poster when Scott's done. No, I don't know when he's going to finish it. I don't think you put an Easter egg in the Gothic Vampire.
I don't put Easter eggs in it. The only thing in the Gothic Vampire that you could consider to be an Easter egg would be the my signature.
Yeah.
Is the...
It's on one of the jars.
Yeah.
No, we are not going to do a painting together because I don't paint. And trust me, he does not want to paint with me. You got a tip from Anuro. Just tell Scott he's doing great. And you too. You're so funny.
Oh, thank you.
You're very funny. Thank you. Have you watched any of the Critical Role campaigns / Vox Machina?
No, I don't know if I'm really into something where I would watch people play like a Dungeons and Dragons type of thing.
Yeah. Tracy, of course it's okay to ask. They were watching your fixing watercolor video, and the final fix was gouache on top of watercolor, but they didn't hear if it was acrylic gouache or regular gouache.
Oh, it was just regular gouache.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is okay if we make mistakes. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
How do you have the patience to do all of the textures? I would have given up halfway through.
Oh, I would have too. Even just 3 years ago. This has been just something that I've been kind of trying to teach myself to just be more patient with things.
He's been impatient for 55 years.
Yeah.
So this is a new thing that he's trying to be more patient, not only with himself and his art, but to just enjoy the process. Yes, he has made a comic. You can look up thedreamlandchronicles.com. How do you turn realistic things into cartoonish vibes?
Oh, add an outline to them.
How do you maintain motivation?
That might be a personal endeavor that you should look into. You know, what motivates you, and how can you become more motivated to finish something?
Let's see. Santa says it all looks wonderful.
Thank you, Santa.
How do you get the background of the painting to look blurry? Been working on that and just can't seem to get it.
Well, there's a short I did on that where I did that for my piece with Aragorn, where I made it blurry. But essentially, you can do that with value. You can see the values of the... So in other words, the blacks are blacker in the foreground, and there are thinner lines in the background. So you can do it with line weight, you could do it with value, you could do it with contrast, and you could do it with color.
Thank you, Mr. Clock. Does Scott still have autism, and is there any cure for it?
Yes, I do. And currently there is no cure for it.
I don't know that there needs to be a cure. I think people are born that way, and everyone is different. Let's see. Why did you choose art as a life?
I couldn't really do anything else. I wasn't good at anything else. And this was the thing that I was good at. And so I pursued it. I went to art school for it.
Let's see. Jay Harperdine says, good morning. Scott, how's that carpal tunnel this morning? So much detail.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I am doing good.
Yes, his comic series that he did is called The Dreamland Chronicles. It is a webcomic.
Well, I am halfway done, if you look at it this way. And I am trying to decide if I want to stop and work on the little fairy or just keep kind of going through with this.
Okay. The clock that you hear is a grandfather clock. It is down here in the Hobbit hole with us.
Yeah.
It used to belong to Scott's dad.
So for the boys, it was literally our twins, literally their grandfather's clock.
Literally, yep. How long has this artwork taken so far?
I think I've been working on it for 3 weeks now. And if you think that I've put an hour a day into it, then you
way more than that.
No, I mean, because there's days where I haven't worked on it, and so it just, you average out 21 days, you could say maybe 21 hours.
Let's see. Scott draws lots of different people from all around the world. He has over multiple different projects that we've done and multiple different series that we've done.
Yeah.
How do you plan to colorize the characters? Do you plan for each of them to have a specific color palette, or will there be a global color scheme to make it more coherent?
I think it is going to be a complete mess. It's going to be so many different textures and colors and whatnot. I have no real thoughts on it yet. I maybe as I get closer to starting to paint, I'll maybe work out some thoughts, but for the most part, I think I'm just going to jump right in and go for it.
I think I'm going to answer this one. When you're in the middle of a drawing / painting, what makes you think, yeah, this is turning out good? Nothing. He always thinks his art is bad, and it drives me bananas.
Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised.
Oh, you are not. It is day to day. One day he'll look at it and he'll go, I like this one little 1 inch by 1 inch section that came out nice. And then the next day he's like, oh, this is just killing me. So, no. I have tried drawing and painting, but when you live with Scott, it's kind of like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do something else. The paint by number still lives. I'm not done with it yet. I'll probably be done with it by the time I'm dead. What is your favorite art supply that you have ever owned?
Gosh. I would. Is it like like a zebra brush pen is like a recurring thing that I use, or something like the my drawing table? I really like my drawing table.
I think it's your Swissmatic bag.
Yeah, Swissmatic bag is
I think
nice.
you've always liked that, yeah. Let's see. Any tips for drawing small? It's really difficult for me to get good line art even with the tiny micron pens.
Yeah, I for me, it is just I mean, some of these faces are just not that great, you know? Just do it and then hope that it comes out okay. And then some days it does and some days it doesn't. I guess that's the thing is I've stopped expecting them to look good. And I think that helps. And you go, okay, well, it didn't work out, you know? Oh, well.
Let's see. My friend has asked me to design him a dragon tattoo. Any ideas where to start?
Find photo references of dragons that you like and use those as reference. That's what I did for my dragon. I didn't try doing it out of my head. I looked at pictures of Smog and, I mean, dragons from Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and from video games and everything. Just don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Have you ever done or considered stop motion as a job?
Yeah, I have.
He could never. He's done some, but you could never. He does not have the patience for stop motion. Do you get hate for your art?
Yeah, you know, people are mean and they will leave bad comments and whatnot, and then I just block them. I don't owe them anything, and I don't need to listen to random strangers on the internet. It's not, my time is
precious.
I get to put a value on my time, and I've decided that my time is worth more than dealing with trolls. There's no benefit to me to listen to it, and no benefit to them for me to acknowledge them. They're just doing it just to get a rise out of me, and why would I give them something for free? So yeah, but yeah, we all get hate because there are people out there who that's their only form of attention. That's the only time someone will pay attention to them is when they post something hateful, and at least it makes them feel alive. It makes them feel like they exist. And while I definitely pity them, and I want them to have happiness, I don't want them to have it that way, and I don't want them to have it at my own expense. So,
Asher is using solid watercolors for painting complicated art, so it doesn't blend with a new color when you mix it. Should I change it, or can I still work with it?
I'm not sure I know what solid watercolors are.
I think the watercolor pans, not watercolor from a tube.
You just need to add more water will make it more transparent. If that's the problem that they're having.
It doesn't blend.
It doesn't
to a
blend?
new color when they mix it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, try adding more water. And if that doesn't work, then yeah, maybe you just have bad watercolors.
Let's see. We've been together too long. Does anyone have a cheap line art tool for me? The one I have is too thick. What's a line art tool?
Like this, Micron. Or the zebra brush pen.
Oh. Well, that one's really tiny. Which hair texture is the hardest to get right?
I think messy hair texture. Like where hair is going in different ways. That one always confounds me.
Hey, just go outside here.
Hey.
You've been busy. Welcome back, friend. Scott does not have anything else planned after this right now, guys. We're getting through one thing at a time.
Potentially the 70s in markers, but I haven't really worked that out yet.
Zeke wants to know, when you were working on Animal Crackers, did you create the characters so they would be easy to animate, or just because that's what you thought they should look like?
Well, I didn't design the characters. Carter Goodrich designed the look of the characters. And no, he just did what he thought would be fun, and I picked the ones that I liked the best, but never with the intention of what would be easy to animate. That was never really, like, we're at the point now where in technology where there's pretty much nothing we can't do.
Let's see. Any recommendations for a drawing table and or chair? I love your Hobbit studio, and I'm hoping to set up a dedicated art area for myself soon.
Well, what I bought, like, I had the same art table since I was in college. So it was like, it was 25 years or something since so I bought myself a really nice art table, and I got it from Restoration Hardware, I think is what it's called, right?
Yes.
And it was like a 1920s drafting table with gears and wheels and stuff, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. But it was like $1,400. It was not cheap. But you know, it was a gift to myself. And so that would be like, do something like that. Find an old drafting table, you know, from the 20s or something like that, or something at a flea market or a garage sale, or go to someplace like Blick and see what they have.
Yep. There is a video on how to get rid of art block. Let's see. Where are we here?
All right.
Have you worked any other job aside from art?
Well, before I went to art school, I worked at art stores. I glazed tubs. You know, I worked at an arcade.
Pizza
I worked
place.
at Macy's. I met Donna working at department store. Pizza place, etc. And then professionally, video games, movies, TV, animation. I was a producer on video games. I wrote books, graphic novels. I directed and wrote the screenplay for Animal Crackers, and I was a producer. So, I mean, not all of them were art related, but they were all kind of in an art field.
Do you listen to music when you draw alone, and what kind of music?
Yes, there is a playlist. You can see it on my website. There should be two. Well, there should be a few of them. Yeah, there's one that's the Hobbit Hole one. And then there's, I like to listen to Seal, and I've been listening to 07 lately, and yeah, stuff like that.
This is a 005 micron pen. Not just a 0.5, it's a 005.
005. It is
It's
the
tiny.
smallest I could find. It's a 0.20 millimeter line.
Let's see. J. Robert Dean says, Scott, did you see my comment on choosing between hot and cold press paper and the problem on erasing? When I have a piece that I needed line work to look great, I penciled it in the light box on the nice paper.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. I'll look into that. Thank you.
What inspires you?
The world around me, stories. Like, this is fantasy characters. So this is like Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy stories or, things like that.
How is it that Scott has no patience but the patience to draw the masterpiece he's working on? Excellent question.
Again, I wouldn't have had the patience normally, and there is this very strong desire for me to just get this done, but I'm trying to. This is me at 55 learning to just be in the moment and enjoy
the process.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to do that.
Do you still play Overwatch?
Yeah, my son and I are getting a little tired of it just because, we play comp and it's like some games we're teamed up with like really good other people and then we just completely destroy the other team who just can't do a single thing right. And then other teams where we are the other team, where we have no one who could do anything right. And my son and I are like, well, this game's over. And I think that inconsistency is frustrating. I want to have every match be close and had things just gone a little bit this way or that way, we would have won. But I think I'd be okay with, I'm okay with when we lose a close game. I just want. Anyways, so that's about it. But other than that, no. We finished Enshrouded, and we're a little disappointed that it was over. But it's an early access thing, so we're hoping that it, And I miss Zelda, but yeah.
This person asks, as a YouTuber, any tips for people to see my videos? I have trouble directing my target audience to me.
Well,
Get in line.
Yeah, Shorts was the best thing for me because Shorts get seen by more people. So I would make Shorts and then find your voice in the Shorts and then move to. I'm at the process now where I'm moving to longer form videos, and if I can get my 2 million subscribers to move over and start watching my long form videos, I'd be great. But right now, I think 99% of my followers are doom scrollers. They just go through the Shorts thing, and that's the. One person literally said when I posted a short last week, they said, "Oh my God, I hadn't seen you in months. I thought you were dead." So
that's comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, I think I'm going to take a break. So we reached the halfway part, so that's good. I'm going to draw this little fairy here, and then I will just hopefully see how far I can get along on this, and I'll probably post another video with the Goliath, the drow like crow.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, drow like cow. The drow bard, the non-binary tiefling, and the kenku.
Let's see. Frago says, Scott, do you ever find people that try to put false meaning in your pieces? I find that people pin a meaning on my paintings that do not exist. My paintings are meaningless, and I like them like that.
My paintings are meaningless too. I never have a problem.
People are going to do that though.
Yeah, I never have a problem with people finding something that, as long as what they're finding makes them happy. I don't want people to find, like, oh, 2 crossed axes means, you support, something horrible or something. I would never want that. And It's like, no, there's just 2 crossed axes. That's all it is, Yeah. So long as if someone said, oh, a shield hung up this way it means peace in.
It's
fantastic.
Funny. Everything has meaning to somebody.
Yes, but like everything. I said, I think it's nice if the meaning is positive. It's not nice if people are finding negative meanings in your art.
I agree with that.
So, I feel bad that now if that's happening to you a lot, then maybe look and see, is there something in your past or something where you were, what's the word I'm thinking of, exposed to a lot of negative imagery that maybe, might be doing that. But if it's just a once or twice, then that's just bad luck,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan says, as soon as you release a work of art to the world, it no longer becomes yours.
That's true. That's true.
And J. Robert Dean says, Donna, Alinda and I have been together nearly 30 years. Has a study been done on when we happily reply to, how long have you been married together, with the number, and then it switches to too long? Yeah, that's 30. That's the 30 years. When you hit 30,
I don't know. I remember Donna saying that at 20, but...
you can officially say too long. Yeah, 30. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I guess we're going to be done.
We're done. I'm going to go get some breakfast.
Yep. And we will see you guys on Wednesday.
Yes, and look
Thanks
for
being
a
here.
video later today. I should have one. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Monday. Bye.